Hello there, welcome to Campus News with the latest from John Marshall High School and the surrounding community. I'm Carla Science.
And I'm Carlos Nogales. Having trouble breathing lately? It's not just the heat. This could be the result of an abundance of diesel fumes in our neighborhood. Josie Batiste has more.
A lawsuit has been filed by the state of California against Ralph's Grocery Company over the failure to warn residents of Atwater and Los Feliz of their exposure to high levels of diesel exhaust, which is known to cause cancer. The Ralph's Distribution Center, located at 4841 San Fernando Road, houses many trucks which deliver food. Those trucks also spew diesel fumes. After learning that the air around them contained 20 to 40 times above the state-mandated exposure limits, Ralph's failed to provide adequate warning.
It tells us clearly that there's an urgent need to either A, find alternatives to diesel engines, B, at the minimum, warn people that they're being exposed to these substances, and C, if anything, we need to look at diesel engines and look how we can reduce their emissions.
The added pollution in the air will affect all community members, including Marshall students. Kathy McLeod is a litigator for the National Resources Defense Council.
Diesel exhaust is known to the state of California to be a carcinogen, and it causes a wide range of very serious health problems, such as it can exacerbate asthma, all sorts of respiratory problems, and due to the high levels of diesel being emitted at the site, NRDC has decided to take action to try to protect the community around it.
The NRDC passed out flyers and held a meeting at Chevy Chase Recreation Center last April in order to warn the residents of the harmful toxins that were in the air. Unfortunately, few of the residents attended. This is Josie Batiste reporting from Campus and Community News.
If you would like to voice your concerns, don't hesitate to call the State Attorney General's office at area code 213-897-2000.
Violent and abusive behavior in a relationship isn't just something you see on Cops or Jerry Springer. Unfortunately, domestic abuse can hit much closer to home. What are the warning signs of an abusive relationship? Here's Maisha Cole-Perry with the answer.
Dating violence affects an estimated 1 out of 8 high school students and 1 out of 5 college students. A study conducted at the University of Illinois found that in one Chicago high school, 36% of the students had experienced violence in a relationship, but only 4% of the students had talked to an adult about it. Of the reported abusers, 95% were male. Abuse in teen relationship comes in many forms: emotional, sexual, and physical. And in some cases, it's fatal. Each year in the United States, 1,500 women and girls are murdered by their partners or ex-partners. So what are the warning signs of abuse? Here are some questions to ask yourself. Do you lie to your parents about the relationship? Does he or she hurt you physically, threaten to harm you, ridicule you, or accuse you of seeing others? If you're trying to get out of an abusive relationship, here are ways to increase your safety. Tell your parents or trusted adults what's going on. Don't go to an isolated location with your partner. Break up with your partner in a public place. Stay in touch with your friends. Keep extra change and emergency phone numbers for calls. If you feel you're in danger, get help immediately. And also, most importantly, trust your instincts. There are many people to talk to here on campus. Ms. Eslick is one of the many trusted advisors here at Marshall.
If a student has been sexually assaulted on a date or in some other way, we can arrange for someone from LAACW to come in and talk with the student.
For more information, you can look to your local phone book under Community Services, where you can find organizations and people to call. Just remember, there's always something you can do to escape a violent relationship. By speaking to a friend, teacher, or even a parent could be your way out. This is Maisha Perry reporting for Campus and Community News.
If you need someone to talk to on campus, see Mr. Zimmer or Ms. Eslick in room 620.
And now with the rundown on campus and community events, here's Vache Marks with this week's FYI. Vache?
Thank you, Carlos. On Wednesday, August 5th, BNC Track will hold their homecoming elections, so be sure to vote. Have you been paying attention in class? Your 4-week report cards will be issued on back-to-school night, August 6th, from 5 to 7 p.m. Your parents can pick up your report cards in the main building. Attention students, in telecom, woodshop, or auto shop, or computer classes, you and your parents should attend a special orientation meeting at 6:30 during this back-to-school night in the Oral Arts Room. Students in these classes are considered part of the Perkins Career Academy. Please ask your parents to drop by the Oral Arts Room to meet your teachers and learn more about careers taught at Marshall, and have a bite to eat. Extra credit will be given to those students who attend. Seniors, here's your chance to make up your Sharp and Write test. Testing for B and C track will begin August 5th. Students will be summoned. Check today's bulletin for schedules. And a small reminder to all you good doers, the Johnny B. Good Dance will be held today during lunch, so don't forget to attend and get your groove on. Turning to community news, Senator Richard Polanco and the community leaders from the Rampart District will participate in the 5th Annual National Night Out next Tuesday at 5:30 p.m. They'll start with a community march and with a special presentation at the LAPD Rampart Division Station. The event is designed to heighten awareness about crime and drug prevention, stirring with neighborhood spirit and foster a closer relationship between the community and the police. Well, that does it for this week's FYI. Back to you guys.
Thank you, Vache. Teen pregnancy is not only a concern for teen girls, but also for the males involved. Many schools are now beginning to offer pregnancy prevention programs that are not just directed to young women, but to young men as well. Here's Yamali Valenzuela and Elia Ortiz with part 2 of our series.
In the past 18 years, the teen birth rate in California increased by an astounding 33%. Yearly, about 100,000 teenage boys become fathers due to the lack of sexual education. Statistics show that among the males who initiate sexual activity by the age of 15, only 25% of them have taken any type of sexual education courses. Many pregnancy prevention programs are offered throughout the community. One of the most effective programs, called DAD, Determination, Admiration, and Direction, is offered through the Project NATEEN agency.
Project NATEEN is an agency that provides supportive services to pregnant and parenting teenagers, and including their families. One of the components to that is also pregnancy prevention.
Male teens who have been through this program have felt that this has improved their lives in a positive way.
I can't say enough about this. This has helped me out so much, and there's a lot more teen dads that should take this class.
Studies show that only 39% of teens who become fathers will ever receive their high school diploma. So the only way to avoid fatherhood is through abstinence or condoms. So please think before you act. This is Elia Ortiz reporting for John Marshall Campus and Community News.
For more information about Project NATEEN, contact Martha Marquez at 213-669-5981.
And now here's someone who obviously knows plenty about teen pregnancy. Josh Lowe with This Week's Sports.
Thanks, Chuck. Welcome back, Barristers, to our world of sports. It's summertime, and that means our fall sports teams are preparing for their upcoming seasons. So we put together a preview of some of the teams to check out. But first, 2 weeks ago, our Marshall baseball team got a taste of the pros. Leslie Zarco has more.
The team played in the RBI tournament's final game against Roosevelt on Sunday at Dodger Stadium. In the first inning, the Marshall defense was weak. This error led to Roosevelt's only point. From then on, it was all Barristers. Several key plays like Mike Andrade's sprint home and Frank Andrade's double gave the Barristers a 4-1 lead in the sixth. Angel Martinez also did his part, striking out 2 players in a row, and by the final inning, Yamil Verde's triple set the stage for Junior Maciel's 2-run homer, ending the game. The final score, Marshall 6, Roosevelt 1.
Congrats to the baseball team, who will hopefully make us proud next season. Well, good luck to all the athletes from this year's fall team. And, oh, by the way, football season starts off September 10th. Well, that's about it for sports. Back to you guys.
Thanks, Josh. Marshall's talented orchestra is getting a little help from some fellow musicians. Teresa Valdez and Renella Arrieta has more.
Each Wednesday at lunch, the Southwest Chamber Music Organization comes on campus to help the Marshall Sextet and Quartet orchestra groups in honing their chamber music talents.
Chamber music is music which is played in an intimate setting by just a very small group of musicians, and it's meant for relaxation or entertainment.
The Southwest Chamber Music Organization is a group of musical tutors sponsored by the National Endowment for the Arts. The National Endowment for the Arts gives grants to help support artists and musicians and educate the public. Marshall was chosen for this program because of its excellent classical string orchestra, very rare in a public high school. Only 3 other high schools in Southern California are privileged enough to take part in this program. Members Agnes Kachowski and Maggie Edmondson help young students in various string instruments, either violins, bass, or cellos. Students participating in the program have shown noticeable changes seen both by themselves and by their new instructors.
My 3rd time here, but they're doing really well.
Keep practicing, guys. We're expecting some great music from you soon.
Now here's an experience that should be familiar to many of us. You walk onto campus at 7:31 only to be intercepted by one of the deans. They then direct you to room 146. Campus News' Tanya Chan relives her tardy room experience.
The tardy room was created 3 years ago as an attempt to reduce the number of students who are tardy to class. When the policy was first enforced, the tardy room was so full of students late for first period that the overflow had to be sent to the auditorium. That's about 300 people a day. Since then, the number has been reduced to about 30 students tardy, leading some to wonder whether it's worth missing up to 20 minutes of period 1 to be processed for being late by a few seconds. In some cases, the students wind up choosing to stay off campus and missing the whole period rather than getting caught in the tardy sweep. To test this, I sat in the tardy room and acted as if I were tardy and set up a camera in a classroom for the same amount of time to see how much I would miss. As you can see, while I'm sitting waiting to sign in, my teacher has already finished taking roll. While he begins his lesson, I am still waiting. By the time I get back to class, I had missed going over a test, and I think something about a nucleus. But I'm not the only student that goes through this every week. Dozens of students and teachers are bothered by this.
I wish we didn't have a tardy room because I'd rather have everybody in class. But if some of our wonderful children decide to establish a schedule of their own, they should be reminded that there is a schedule we all need to keep.
So if you'd like to avoid the situation, stop pressing that snooze button and get your butts to class, people. This is Tanya Chen reporting for Campus News.
A little postscript to that report. While she was waiting in the tardy room, Tanya was also cited for violating the dress code with that little lace top she was wearing.
Well, that just goes to show that you just can't beat the system. Well, we've got to move, but check us out next week as we look at Marshall's Men in Blue. For Carlos Nogales and the whole entire Campus News team, I'm Carla Science. Have a great weekend.
But before we leave you, here's this week's student question. What was your favorite movie of all time?
All time and why? Titanic, cause that fool's fine. That Leonardo DiCaprio guy, huh? My best friend's wedding because it's so romantic and sad. Scream because it has all these yelling. Armageddon because I think it's very romantic.
Say Godfather because you know it's all about Al Pacino.
Ghost because it's really romantic.
Pulp Fiction. Grease because it's very groovy.
Little Rascals because they're very cute.
It would be Good Will Hunting because I think that guy Matt Damon is really cute. Grease because they're so cute, especially John Travolta.
My favorite movie is Kids.
I like Snow White because it's about 7, I think they're Latino dwarfs.
My favorite movie is The Little Mermaid just because you can just tell. She's so cute.
Dumb and Dumber because it was the funniest movie ever made.
Movie that really touched me and is my all-time favorite is Dumbo.